Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 2026 Royal Ascot preview brought to you by textbet, the smarter way to place your bets via WhatsApp. It's one of the biggest betting weeks of the year, and it is finally upon us. We shall be taking an in-depth look at every day of Royal Ascot, discussing the key races, the strongest form lines, the best value opportunities, and most importantly, the horses we are backing throughout the week. And for this Royal Ascot episode, I'm delighted to be joined by both Jordan Hopkins and Steve Ryder, two experts of the game. Right on to Wednesday we go then, and we're going to start by looking at the best race of the day. That is the Prince of Wales Stakes. There is Ombudsman, Almacam, Mini Hawk, Bay City Roller, etc. All hopefully going to go. We shall see. But Darius is definitely going to go, as is Ombudsman. And it looks like it could be a proper race in the making as well. I think they've all got to come and beat Ombudsman. I think this is his territory back in Bristol over 10 furlongs. I think he's the one to beat myself. Steve, what do you think about the race?
I think this is going to be a small field. I imagine the big three are going to scare a fair amount off. I think it'll be Darius, Ombudsman, Alcam, See the Fire, Dancing Gemini, and then Devil's Advocate appears to be in there as a pacemaker for Ombudsman. But it would be rare if Aidan O'Brien actually doesn't have a runner in this. But I went through his entries. It's Mini Hawk, Lamborn, The Lion in Winter, Mississippi River, and Expanded. Well, the only one that can really run out of those would be Mini Hawk. But I was keen to take her on over a mile two on faster ground when she was a shorter price. But she could prove overpriced at 16-1 if they were to go this direction. But I'll be honest, it's not a race that I've got a massive opinion in. Darius obviously is unbelievable what he's done so far this season, having won the Arc and dropping back down in trip. I have a feeling that Ombudsman's got a better turn of foot than him, though. So the fact that they should be able to control the races, we've got Devil's Advocate in there making the pace, should mean that he can probably win this for a second year in a row. He did what he couldn't do on his reappearance last year, and that was winning the Brigadier Gerard on his reappearance under a penalty. I just think he's probably going to be the one to beat. Almacam is a horse that I do really like. He was good in the Tats Gold Cup. The form's obviously been boosted by Bay City Roller in the Coronation Cup, but he still has £6 to find with Ombudsman on official ratings, has 2 lengths to find on their run in the Champion Stakes last season as well. And yeah, I would just prefer Ombudsman for me.
Yeah, Ombudsman for me as well. And Jordan, what about you? We're going to make it 3 for the Godolphin Blue?
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. I think, to be honest, I think it's Darius' race to lose if he handles the occasion. I'd be quite bullish on him if he lines up and gets down to the start and doesn't lose his head. Like he was a much, I say I'll keep it short and sweet. It's not going to be short and sweet. He matured plenty through the year last year. I was at York when he ran in the Juddmonte and he just looked like a big baby there. And then going down to the post at the Arc, it was almost like he was a completely different horse. He's obviously been like ridiculously impressive in 2 starts this year. You know, people will pick holes in the form. Lefar is a very good horse. He looks even better this year, and I'd say he's not without chance of he's probably going to run top 5 in the Arc this year, Lefar. So that's decent form, and he's battered him over like an inadequate trip for the pair of them, basically on the bridle, nearly running 2 sub-11 second furlongs in the final 2. So he looks even better this year, and I'd say if he handles the occasion, it'd be so hard to beat. Obviously, you've got to respect Ombudsman, who's a brilliant horse. Like I think we haven't really mentioned the ground, perhaps. Like maybe we have, but if it did bucket down with rain, it's obviously going to possibly play more in Almacam's favour than others. And the only one, forgive me if we've mentioned this, but Roger Varian's got Sadad in there, who's kind of like steadily improved. He won the London Gold Cup last year, and he's now rated 116. And he ran a pretty good race in the Tats Gold Cup last time, when third, running on behind Almacam. And he's 25-1. I just think, like, I wouldn't be amazed if he picked up pieces into third or definitely fourth, perhaps. And he's probably going to be quite overpriced on the day for places. But yeah, I think Darius will win if he handles the occasion.
Bullish. Hopefully he'll handle the occasion as well as you're going to for all 5 days, Jordan.
Hopefully there's no cameras on me by Saturday morning.
Yeah, interesting on Mini Hawk, because I know that Aidan O'Brien has said a couple of times, he came out of her run last time at the Curragh and said that this is the target, and if they were going to run, then they try and make all with her, so that there's not going to be an issue with pace. If she turns up, I think she's going to be interesting at that price, 16-1, because I still have a huge amount of hope that she's going to be as good as she was last year this year. Right, on to the Hunt Cup. Big handicap of Wednesday. Jordan, back to you. Do you have any fancies in this one?
Like, obviously, it's like with these big handicaps, they're so draw dependent. Obvious thing to say, really, but I would say I'd give two. I'd say Tribal Chief, who I think's going to be quite obvious and well backed. One of my good friends, Jamie Hales, or better known as Trackside J on Twitter, has a share of this horse, and he's taken him on some ride, to be fair. So I hope he can win for him. They've obviously got the option of the Buckingham Palace as well later in the week, but by the sounds of it, I think this is probably the race they'd probably rather run in. Davin Minuizier was sort of saying on an interview I saw yesterday, I think, that he doesn't think necessarily the distance is that much of an issue. He's kind of almost losing his race at the start a lot of the time. But I think on the evidence of the last run, like it's clear that he's kind of more of a miler than a 7th horse for me anyway. Like I always felt the horse might improve further than a mile, but if he gets a good draw or draws around some pace, I think he's got a massive chance. And the other one I'd just shout to is Hand of God. I think price wise put him up last night. I was writhing as I saw that, but I thought he had a very decent chance. I'd like whenever Harry Charlton runs one at Royal Ascot, you kind of take note. I'd be friendly with Harry, and he's very shrewd. I think a couple of years ago when Hand of God won at the meeting, I think he had three runners. Did he have two winners? Hand of God definitely won, and he had King's Gambit that should have won. Got beaten a neck, I think, coming like flying down the wide outside, and then he ran. I think he ran a horse called £10 in a handicap that was like third or something of 24. So he doesn't run them for a day out, I think he's very interested in dropping back to a mile. So yeah, those would be my two, I think, at the minute. But we'll just see what runs for now. But they're the two on my mind.
Okay, nice. Interesting thoughts there, Jordan. I'm gonna go with what could be my best bet of the week, which is quite a strong statement in a race like the Royal Hunt Cup. And obviously it is draw dependent. And I'm hoping it's going to be the fall and rise of ancient Rome, because he has been in dreadful form recently, but there have been excuses. He didn't get any run last time out at Newbury over a mile. My one concern about him is that will he get into the race, because he's now rated 95 and it was 94 the bottom races Wilson in the Hunt Cup last year. So I'm hoping he gets in ancient Rome. If he does, then he's got a massive chance. He didn't get any luck in running in the race last year. He finished third in his group behind My Cloud, who was significantly further ahead, but he was put into the race a lot later. He's now, what is he, £7 lower than that run. And I just think he's supremely well handicapped. He clearly likes the track, and he likes the course and distance. So if he gets a run and he gets a decent draw, ancient Rome, 33-1, come on, here we go.
Best of week in the Hunt Cup is wild, but fair.
I just love it.
And also with 4 duck eggs for his form.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't do things the easy way, let's be honest. Go on, Steve. What about you?
I had two. One of them was Hand of God that Jordan's touched on. Yeah, Royal Ascot form going forward. And I think, the drop back to a mile will definitely suit him. The other one was Eternal Force. Won his final 3 starts last season, sent off nearly favourite for the Lincoln. 7th, not beaten too far. Was favourite at Hamilton when a no second under. Tender handling, let's say. But again, like a couple of yours, might not get into this. He's currently 52 on the list. But if he is to get in, he'll be £2 well in off his revised rating, and he was around 16-1. So, Eternal Force, I think, has got one of these big 1 mile handicaps in him so far this season. You know that he's going to turn up in all of these. It's just whether it's going to be this one.
Yeah, it's such a great race to watch, isn't it? It's always that cavalry charge down the straight mile. I'm going to put the Queen's Vase, which is the other big race, in sort of the bracket of any other business on the day, because we're not entirely sure who's going to run in that just yet. The Queen Mary, Queen's Vase, Duke of Cambridge, Kensington Palace and Windsor Castle are the other races on Wednesday. Steve, come straight back to you. Is there anything that appeals from those?
Yeah, Limestone in the Queen's Vase won the listed Yates Stakes at Navan last time, which is the same race that Karma's won last year before success in this. Now, he's looked really progressive. If you look back at his form, he was third behind Benvenuto Cellini on debut, was second behind Endorsement on his second start, and has then won his next 3. Relished the step up in trip to a mile and 5 last time, well backed. Led, was then headed, and then fought back to win by a length and a half, a cosy length and a half success at the end. And I just think he's the one that will relish the step up in trip. He's quite a long race for these 3-year-olds at this time of their careers, I suppose. And I think Limestone's definitely going to be a stayer going forward. I looked at the Queen Mary, and there's been a lot of sort of talking horses. Every single Wathnan horse that wins Seems to always be heading towards the Queen Mary. But it's actually been 4 years since Wesley Ward's last winner at Royal Ascot,
Wow.
that being Campanelle. When you think of Wesley Ward and Royal Ascot, you think of this race. He's won it in 2009, 2015, 2016 and 2020. He has Ruiva this year, who won by 7 lengths at Churchill Downs on debut and is 14-1. I just thought she was overpriced given Wesley Ward. I think he's going to have a couple of runners again this year, but she just seems overpriced for a horse that absolutely hacked up on debut. And it's hard to know, obviously, comparing form in some of these races. And then just lastly, in the Duke of Cambridge, Fallen Angel's going to come back to this race, was third in this race last season, was ridden in second that day, got headed and then staying on well at the finish. I just think James Doyle knows her a lot better now. She was then seen to better effect. She won her next 3 starts when given a more forceful ride from the start, including when beating Blue Bolt by 2 1/4 lengths in the Sun Chariot. That was a good performance. She didn't stay a mile and 2 when behind Sea the Far on her reappearance. This dropped down to a mile on it's now around the round course, isn't it, this race? Yeah, I think that'll suit her. She might well get away from the lead and hopefully, Fallen Angel can win the Duke of Cambridge.
Yeah, star mare on her day, isn't she? Just thinking back to some of Wesley's best ones. I mean, No Nay Never always is a brilliant sire now. Hootenanny, Lady Aurelie, he's had some wonderful horses over the years. It'd be nice to see it back in the winners' enclosure because it keeps that fire burning within him, doesn't it, to bring horses back. Jordan, what about you for the rest of Wednesday?
Yeah, just a couple. To be honest, the one a 2-year-old filly I've probably been most taken with is quite boring in a sense because she's favourite, but that Senorita Bonita for the Crisfords, I think she was 900k at the Craven. Yeah, I just thought she just showed like a ridiculously good attitude. If you watch that replay back, there's a still shot that like the video freezes on about maybe 5 or 6 strides from the line, where you kind of look at it and you just think, how the hell has she won from there when they're kind of both hitting the line at top speed? And yeah, I just think she's extremely talented, and although she's not won by nearly as big a margin as some of the others, like Wild Blossom in the lineup on it for her debut, I think she's very smart and could take some beating. As much as again, it's going to be a draw dependent race, you wouldn't really want to be betting on it yet. I don't really have any other views, to be honest, other than I've always liked Falakia, is it? Owen Burrows. Like, she's so talented, that filly, and I think she's going for the Duke of Cambridge. She was, let me just double check, but she was 5-2 last year for the Coronation after she'd kind of demolished the Pretty Polyfield at Newmarket, which in hindsight wasn't that great of a race, but obviously she did it really, really well. She hasn't been able to back that up in a couple of starts since, and obviously hasn't had a clean run. She might have, I think she had a setback at the end of last year potentially, but not 100% on that. But yeah, she's got an awful lot of ability. If they can kind of like hone that on the day and she doesn't lose her head, she's a horse that is well up to winning a race like that. And I mean, she's gone off even 6-4, 5-2, 6-5, 5-2. She's not going to be going off that short this time, and she might just be a horse that just people forget about on the day because of particularly the last kind of disappointing run at Newmarket when she was a well bet favourite.
Yeah, if Saffie Osborne can keep a hold of Falakia, then yeah, it's all about containing those exertions, isn't it? Okay, best bet of the day on Wednesday, I'll go with Ancient Rome, unsurprisingly. Steve, for you?
I really like Limestone in the Queen's Vase. Obviously, we don't really know the shape up of that race. But yeah, just if you haven't watched it, go back and watch that replay because he did really well to win.
And Jordan?
I will go with Darius.
Love it. Right, okay, now it's time to introduce a trainer who could have a decent week at Royal Ascot, provided some of his horses get in. Hopefully they will do. Earlier on, Jordan and I caught up with Dylan Cunha. Dylan, great to have you on ahead of Royal Ascot. A big week for you and the team. Before we get to your potential runners, just wanted to touch on your season so far, because it does seem to be, to me at least, and plenty of others, that you've been absolutely flying along so far.
Yeah, it's been a phenomenal season. It started off with Dubai winners, and then it sort of went on to some big runs from Hans Glory over the national fences, and he won the Great Oxo Chase at Huntingdon, and then the flat season kicked off, and we had 2 runners at York and both won, and then we just got chinned on the line on Derby on Oaks Day with the same horse, and then Ascot's captain won a big handicap in Newmarket, and then was 4th in the Northern Dancer. So I mean, it's unreal. It's going really well. Couldn't be happier.
Yeah, and I guess when you have a really good start to the season, in the back of your mind, you're probably like, oh, I just want to keep this going until the very end, because it can be quite difficult sometimes to to really elongate
Obviously
that good run, isn't it? I was just saying sometimes it can be quite
You
difficult
there?
to keep that run going if you start off the season so well, isn't it? I imagine at the back of your mind,
Hello?
just like, let's try and keep it going. Oh, have we lost you?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. Okay, let's go again. I was just saying sometimes it can be quite difficult to keep that good run going throughout the season if you started off so well.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to keep things going every year. We've managed to keep it going and improving year to year on year, which is great. But look, we work hard on attention to detail and keeping every horse individual. And I think it's paying off. We managed to keep consistent throughout the year, flat, all weather, turf, jumps. We managed to keep the consistency going, which is, we work really hard at it.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's arguably the most important thing, isn't it? This is a Royal Ascot podcast, so got to get your thoughts on your runners for Royal Ascot. What's your squad going to look like, do you think?
Well, I mean, I was looking at the entries this morning. It's not looking good for us. We've got 4 possible Royal Ascot runners. We're on the Copper House on Tuesday. We have Fireblade and Ascot's captain. But looking at the entries now, I don't think they're going to get in. Then we have Arkalele on the Thursday. In that, I think it's the King George or whatever it's called, the 1.5 3-year-old handicap. He's on the limit of getting in. He would have got in the last 5 of the last 6 years, but. And then on the Friday, the only guaranteed runner we have is Baker Blue in the Palace of Holyrood. So look, it's like York. We're only sending 4 there that can win if they go there. I mean, it would be a miracle if they did, but it's not looking like the first 2 are going to get in anyway with the entries today. I mean, it would be lovely for Ascot's captain to get in. Fireblades won at Ascot already. He won the Shogar Cup there. It would be great to get him in there. He likes fast ground. But it's, yeah, like I say, a lot's going to happen. If our 2 get in, Ascot's captain's as tough and as consistent as you get. You'll love the 1 mile 6. He ran a cracking race over the course during the Shogar Cup and just couldn't get a run really. And that brought him on enough that he won the big handicap at York. And Fireblade, like I say, he loves the fast ground. He's in great form. We've waited for Royal Ascot for him, so it'll be a pity if they don't get in. But both horses are in great form, and we're quite excited to try and get them in on the Tuesday anyway.
Yeah, I bet. And just on Baker Blue, your definite runner next week in the Palace of Holyrood House, that is a horse with a lot of speed.
Yeah, he's in great form. He galloped this morning. I was very happy with it. Couldn't be happier. It's sort of been it's been a target all year. We've waited for this. We purposely haven't run him again since France. I feel he's a huge runner. He'll love the conditions. He'll love the big field. He'll like the pace he's going to get. And yeah, he's a big runner. He would be our second best run of the week if Arkalele got in. He would obviously be our best run of the week. But yeah, very happy with Baker Blue. And he's our only guaranteed run at this stage anyway.
Nice to get that Royal Ascot winner up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's a massive thing for us. Arkalele would be our biggest chance of the week. He's probably our best horse, I think, that we've got on the yard. He had a really good gallop this morning. Luke Morris rode him and said he's improved again from York. He'll be right at the bottom of getting in on the Thursday. I might look at some other races for him and just run him out the handicap as well. I've trained him for Royal Ascot, so I really want to get him out at Royal Ascot. You could look at the other 3-year-old race, the Ascot Derby, whatever they call it. And then, yeah, so he'd be our biggest chance of having a Royal Ascot winner, and I'll be devastated if he doesn't get a run this week in any race.
Yeah, I'll be praying for you then, Dylan, with that one. And just finally, of the other races, all the big races at Royal Ascot next week, is there a horse in particular that isn't trained by you that you're looking forward to seeing in particular?
Oh, not really. I mean, the only horse I really want to see run next week is Arkalele. I would love to see that. But look, it's a great race meeting. We have a picnic from the Tuesday to the Friday. We do a lot of entertaining. We're there every day, even if we don't have a runner, from the Tuesday to the Friday anyway. And it's a very important thing for us. We seem to have conquered York now. Now we need to try and get the Royal Ascot win on the board. That will be a massive thing for us. It's one of the goals we set out to do this year. And yeah, fingers crossed we can get Arkalele there and it all goes well for him.
Yeah, the way that you've been going so far, I imagine it's not too far away from that Royal Ascot victory. Good luck with Arkalele, good luck with Baker Blue, and hopefully some other ones, including Asgard's captain, surprise you and get in.
Yeah, look, if he gets in, you just know you're going to get a run for your money. I mean, he's just the toughest horse. He'd run through a wall for you, and he's probably the flag bearer of the yard now that Silver Sword's retired. Ascot's captain's probably the one that everyone's fond of and loves, and he puts his heart on his sleeve and does it for us every time.
Absolutely. Dylan, wish you the best of luck. Thanks so much for coming on.
Cheers, DC.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Yeah, great to hear there from Dylan. And fingers crossed he gets a couple of those that he's not expecting runs from to run. And good luck to him with the horse in the Palace of Holyrood House, Blue Baker. Gents, tremendous. We've covered plenty in that podcast, all things Royal Ascot. Thank you so much for your time. And thank you all of you at home for watching. If you haven't already, you can apply for your account at jointextbet.co.uk via the link in the description. So please do make sure you do that if you haven't already. And the last thing for me to say is best of luck with everything that you're backing and keeping on side at Royal Ascot. It's sure to be the best 5 days of the year on the flat, as it always is. Until next time from us here, it's goodbye.